Is there something wrong with me? Very early on in my singleness journey, I asked myself this question often. As I have continued on my journey, I have heard many women at different stages of singleness utter the same lament. And can I be honest with you? Like, for real, right? Even when I was dating and married, I still asked myself this question. It's just a part of the human condition, right? I've been building my mountain of self doubt for far longer than I've been actually single. And baby, what lies I was buying into. In the Old Testament, Job lost everything in one day. Even his closest friends were convinced that he must have done something to deserve his misfortune. You can read this in Job 4, 7 to 8, Job 8, verse 20. Also see Job 11, 14 to 17. The truth, however, is that his circumstances were not indicative of his character. Was something wrong with David, King David, who spent years running for his life from King Saul? Was something wrong with Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his brothers and then falsely imprisoned? They both did the right thing, and both faced frustrating circumstances because God had a unique plan that required a unique path for them. Have you ever stopped then maybe to ask if this season of singleness is all maybe part of a bigger purposeful plan that he has for you, right? Even if you have made missteps and you are living out the consequences of some of your own bad choices or some of your own actions, I know from experience that God will work even the natural consequences out for your good if you let him. Just because someone isn't interested in you right now, right this second, at this moment, doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. Refuse to let that lie take root. You and I need to do better at depending on what God says about us rather than what others say about us. So you and I start building on a stronger foundation. Okay, and here are a few building bricks to get us started, right? So number one, God says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You can read this in Psalm 139, verse 14. He says that you are a wonderful creation. Even your quirks are given you for a reason, right? You are valuable, worthy, and of infinite worth in God's eyes. Zephaniah 3, verse 17. You have so much worth that he was willing to die for you. And isn't that the kind of man that you want? So that's a good second building block. Number 3, God doesn't love you less because of your weaknesses. In fact, they may be your greatest strength. Why do I say that? Because they enable his power to be on full display, right? Read 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. Jesus says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness, right? And then number 4 and sort of number 5 also, but this is one I lean on daily, that God won't give up on you when you mess up or if you sin. He is a keeper of his promises. As a follower of Jesus, God will grant you forgiveness when you seek and ask him for it and are truly repentant, right? 2 Timothy 2, verse 13. He is the one who started the good work of transformation in you. And so he alone will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ. That second part is in Philippians 1, verse 6. So that's just 5 building blocks to start with. Just 5. And there are so many more, which that you can use, that you can lean on. So let me know what is one of your go-to ones, right? Dear single crown rocker, there is nothing wrong with you. You are beautiful, valuable, cherished, adored, worthy, wanted. You are already loved. No man can fix you, complete you, or fulfill you the way only your first love can. It's far too much pressure to put on any one person, and they will crack under the burden of it. The idea that something is wrong with you can leave you, or can make you start overthinking or overanalyzing, right? And asking, is it a character flaw? Is it my spiritual walk? Is it my hobbies? Maybe it's my financial status. Being a single parent, maybe it's my dating style. While yes, these may be things to question, because we all have work we can do, we should do so with a focus on building a solid foundation on Christ the rock. All other ground is sinking sand. So spend some time seeking the heart of your first love first, and what he says about you. Allow him to lavish his love on you, and allow yourself to rest in his healing and loving embrace. Now in your singleness, and even as you date and marry one day, you should always be growing, and you should always be pursuing holiness, right? So draw closer to God, read his word, and remind yourself daily of who he says you are, right? This life, your life, whether it includes marriage in the future or not, has been divinely orchestrated to declare his goodness and truth to those around you in ways that no other story ever could, right? You are his beloved, whom he beckons into a partnership with him, in which he adds his extra to your ordinary for extraordinary influence. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing. Now I dare you to start believing it.